Hello everybody, welcome to this wonderful reading. I'm Zoe Alex, welcome. So basically this is going to be part 2 of this whole entire reading that I was just about to talk about earlier and I forgot about it because I basically accidentally shut my video. Oops, my mistake. But the way how this is, the way how it's going to be, this is going to be just for part 2 of this whole entire reading, and this is the way it seems to be. So, this is the way of how it kind of is because I was talking about a beeline, and a beeline is about when you're going to a grocery store and you don't have very much money, and then you lie about when you have money, and when you don't have money, it's like you're trying to afford what you're looking for, but it's based on how you're going to be having a maze about this whole entire, fiasco about this grocery store that you're in. So it's like you're trying to figure out about what you're going to be doing and thinking, well, this is the way it seems to be. I don't know what to do. I don't know how I'm going to put this into perspective. You know, so it's like when you were going to the checkout and you're not going through the whole entire checkout, as in like, where the tellers are, the employees, everything else. And it's based on that. It's like, why are you going to go through the self checkout? Because that's how it is, right? So if you're acting to be unkindness and when you have no money, when you have not telling the truth, when you have violence, when you have things are not going out as planned and you have chaos and everything else, it's like, why are you having this, right? Why are you having this problem? But the way how this is, the way about knowing what to do, you have to base on that. You have to base on the way of how it is. Because the word I'm going to tell you all is basically the oracle card that I was reading you about earlier is surrender. I can release my need to control. That's the way it goes. And when you have that, you have the ability about having your own surrender. You have the ability about knowing what to do when you're surrendering about not going through the checkout to see the employees and everything else, like the clerks. But then it's like you're going through that whole entire situation about going through that way of going through self checkout, because I call it the beeline. But you know what I mean, right? But that's how it seems to be. This is the way of how it goes, and this is the way it seems to be in that way. You have to know about how you can negotiate from the way how it is. It's like, okay, everything seems to be fine. Alright, I got this. It's like that's how it is. You have to improve your point. You have to improve your own way about knowing what to do. And when you do that, it's like, okay, this seems to be. I know what to do. I got this. But then it's like how it is. So when you use your own format, if you're using your own surrender, you have to pay attention to it because it's like you're waving the white flag. That's how it is, and that's how it seems to be. And when you do that, that's how it kind of is. So that's how it is. But that's how it seems to be in that way. So you're going to figure out who's who in this situation, and this is how it's going to be based on that. So here we go. So anyway, back to this whole entire fiasco about this whole entire reading. This is the way it seems to be. You have to know exactly how it is, and this is the way it seems to be. So you have to understand about what's happening in this way. You have to know exactly what you're going to be doing, and that's how it is. When you have communication, when you have things that you're looking for, that's how it is. If you're acting to be immaturity, if you're acting about what's going on, it's like why you're doing this. It's like that's how it is. So let's figure out who's on the left side here. So we have the Nine of Earth. Enjoys his life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, successful self-employment. Yeah, because that's the way it goes, right? So it's like you basically, have your time alone because that's the way it goes. And when things are getting out of hand or whatever, it's like, why are you feeling this? Why are you doing this? Because it's basically impractical. That's how it is. And when things are being impractical, it's like, why are you doing this? Why? Because that's how it is. It's like the way how this is, the way of how everything is, you have to pay attention to it, whether you like it or not. But then this is like self-absorbed. This is the way of how it kind of is, and you have to know exactly how it is. So it's like the way how you can understand. It's like that's the way it kind of is in that moment. So you could be dealing with in a Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, as in zodiac signs, as in earth signs. What's happening in the middle? The Chariot is upright. Archangel Metatron. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. Yeah, so you can be recognized you'd be basically getting recognized by the public or whatever during the camera or whatever it is, right? Because that's how it seems to be. It's like you're trying to figure out what's happening in that way, and you have to understand about, okay, well, this just seems to be, I know what to do, but then that's how it is, right? So you have to be very honest about how it is in that way, right? And what's on the right side here? The Ten of Earth. A very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. Yeah, because that's how it is, right? So there could be a family life situation in this way, and you think that, okay, well, everything seems to be fine, I know what to do, but then it's like how it seems to be, right? So it's like everything has to be all situated and knowing what to do, because that's how it kind of is. It's like, how would you understand about how you're feeling in one another? That's how it kind of occurs. So it's like, how would you, beyond that point, knowing about your own strategies from the right and wrong perspective, but then it's like how it is, right? So it's like if you're in a family dynamic or whatever it is, it's like, how would you do that, right? That's why it seems to be that. So, it could be another Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus as another Earth signs and another zodiac signs as well, right? So that's how it seems to be. But then that's how it kind of occurs. So let's see what's going on. We're almost done with this reading. So we have the Sisters of the Seasons, cycle of growth, natural law, and divine order. Yeah, because you could be having your own natural law. It could be where you own have cycles of life, whatever it is. But then you have to be exactly how it seems to be. You have to know exactly how it is, and you have to know exactly how it seems to be. So you could be dealing with another Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus as another feminine, as another woman, as another zodiac sign. So you pay attention to it, right? So that's how it is. What's in the middle? You have the prison wave, self-sabotage, poverty, consciousness. Yeah, because it could be that, right? It's like you're feeling like you're gonna have self-sabotage, or you're gonna have your own poverty consciousness, whatever it is, because you can't afford it. You can't afford about going shopping if you don't have very much money. One way you have money, one way you have no money. So it's like, why are you doing this? Because that's how it is. You have to know exactly how it is, because everything is not ship-shape. Everything has to be all great and all suitable, because that's how it is. It's like, how would you do that in one or another? It's like how it is, right? That's the way it seems to be. So you have to believe what's happening in that way, right? So it's like you have to know about divine timing, and that's how it is in one or another. That's the way it seems to be. So you have to know exactly what it is in that perspective. That's the way it seems to be, right? So you have to know exactly what it is in that perspective, And what's happening on the right side? The Camel boy. Small steps, asking for help. Yeah, you probably were asking for help at a grocery store, and maybe you were, I don't know, try to think about what's happening where you were trying to ask for help, and maybe nobody wasn't helping you because you were going into the B line, which means going into the self checkout, But the way of this is, the way of how you can do it in that perspective, that's the way it seems to be. You have to go with the flow. You have to know what it takes, and you have to understand that, right? So when you go with the flow, you have to have your own basic strategies about knowing what to do, and you have to know exactly how it is, right? So it's like, how would you do that in one or another? How would you go with the flow and knowing how it is in that way? So it's like, how would you do that, right? That's what it seems to be. And when you need that, you have the ability from the right wrong perspective. That's all you can do. But then you have your own realization. Okay. So that's how it kind of is at the moment. Right, so now I'm going to redo the Enchanted Mapp. That's why this is just part 2 of the reading. Okay, so this is just the way it is. let's see. Alright, so let's see. Number 48, wishing well. So this is how it is. So wishing well. Here we go. Desire is the sacred impulse for life. Feel it, but let go of all attachment to ownership. It says, desire is the most important impulse for creating life. Now you're seeing the relationship between desire and inspiration, and sensing that moment of truth when you feel the inception of a new life. It is an aha moment when everything makes sense. Perhaps you recognize a soulmate, or are conceiving a baby or an idea. The wishing well card awakens you to the presence of unseen forces that enable new beginnings. Divine intelligence activates the field of possibilities where new life is co-created in a magical way. Neither you nor anyone else can know how or why this happens. It just does. To that end, you can't control the process of growth. Rather, you must step aside to be a channel for higher forces and relinquish any attachment to how this new creation should appear or when. Form your intention, take action by dropping the coin into the wishing well, then trust in spirit. Prepare to be amazed. So, that's the way it kind of occurs, because the way how this is, so if you were having your own way about knowing what to do, you have to know exactly what it takes. So you have to understand that. But before I let you go, try to pay attention about this wonderful reading, and I hope that you can understand that how it is. So, this reading would be making sense, but you know what, it's basically funny, but that's how it is, right? So that's how it is. So you pay attention on what kind of is in that way. But I hope you all like this video. Try to understand, try to do what it takes, but that's how it seems to be. You have to know exactly how it is. But there you go, right? That's the way it seems to be. So I hope you all like this video. Please give a like, please give a comment, enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye for now, really, and bye.